everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and a new Nigeria is possible. On a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, we are here to have discussions on what is happening in Nigeria, especially as Aso Rock seemed vacant, whether it's vacated for reasons. Nigerians are asking these questions, and they are taking their reactions to mainstream media, to the social media, to everywhere, asking, where is Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Where is he? That is the question in most Nigerian lives. That is what is what is taking every discussion in Nigeria right now. For people who know what we are talking about, is really intensifying, and everybody wants to know, where is he? As Shettima himself is jetting out, what is really going on in Nigeria? Is there something that is about to happen that Nigerians are not aware of? How can the said president and his wife leave and not even say where they are headed, and living at the middle of the night? This is really coming in heels of many pressures coming out in Nigeria, different hunger crises happening everywhere, and they're just coming out from the economic forum without even taking a leave of absence from Nigerians. This is a leave without an official disposition is tantamount to a constitutional violation. Well, we'll be discussing all of that tonight, and we will also having a discussion on PO, who is currently in the UK meeting Obedience on a thank you tour, and we can see that his deliberations today, and the people he has met, they were all pleased, and as always, our PO will keep on pushing. And as we can see, Mazezoke there with PO, with members of the Obedience in the UK having a tete-a-tete. So, and having this discussion with me today, I have Divine in the studio, and Peace.
Well, welcome, and thank you for joining us on today's live broadcast. We're so glad to have you.
I greet you now, Obedient worldwide, wherever on that day they watch us this evening. Some people talk say Nigeria na a fake country, but me I no go talk say Nigeria na a fake country. Wait, I go talk say Nigeria na a failing country, because it's still dey under rehabilitation. Even if say things no easy, we still believe say hope dey. Sit down and watch us as we do our things today.
Yes, so hope dey. Now that's hope. Now they make everybody they come out, they go, and that very hope where we they talk about. Now the hope where they inside the new Nigeria where we they talk, not be the hopelessness. So maybe we start with this very Tinubu's issue. We have people, the reaction of Nigerians, both in the street when you go out now, that happens to be something talking. And I recall that somebody was mentioning to me actually earlier in the day that something like this happened in the earlier 80s, where when either Tinubu, Buhari and the Diabon was around, somebody left and they had to, military had to take over. So, Divine, looking at it from the leadership perspective, do you think it is constitutionally or otherwise right for Tinubu to leave without saying where he is right now, outside of coming out from the economic forum where we saw him last, and then Shettima going out in the middle of the night outside of Nigeria and leaving that presidential villa to be very, very open, and then having no sort of leadership?
Well, I think Nigerians deserve to know where Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu is currently, because this is somebody that is at the helm of the affairs of the Nigerian state, right? So it doesn't really make sense for us to have Aso Rock, totally vacant. If it's there for, medical reasons, like people are speculating, they can as well just come out and say it exactly the way it is, because Nigerians need to know what exactly is going on in their country. And also, since this man is actually using taxpayers' money, he's actually, under Nigeria's, he's being financed by Nigerians, or so to speak, right? So Nigerians deserve to know what exactly their money is being used for, and where exactly he's using the money for. So basically, this is one of the tweets from X, where they said the whereabouts of the Nigerian president must never be subject of speculation. If Tinubu is in France for medicals, as reported by Sahara reporters, or elsewhere, Nigerians deserve to know. For all we know, he is our property and is using state resources.
Yes, many reactions coming out from netizens and Obedience and all well-meaning Nigeria. This one is from Ike. He says the president is not in the country. The vice president too has departed for another country. So which kind juju be this? So who is running this country? That one a question. No responsible country in the world will have number 1 and 2 out of the country at the same time. Nigeria is in for a long ride. Then we have this one coming out from Chooks Alice, who said that the standard practice worldwide is to let the citizens know and transmit power to the vice. That's why there is a vice at least. Tinubu doesn't have to follow Buhari's example of this since he said he is following Baba Goslow's legacy. I think what Chooks is actually talking about was in the time of Buhari, we saw that Buhari actually also left without transmitting power and stayed for a long time in the UK, and maybe he wants to follow that trend. What do you think?
It's generally not a good idea for the president of a country like Nigeria and the vice to just live like that without proud notice, notifying anybody. It's so appalling. And what I would talk be say, as we all know, obedience all over the world. We know say, as the Igbo proverb they talk and say, we shouldn't expect a large animal from a small hole. You know, say Tinubu don't they disappoint us, stay. So as in, what do we expect from such person? Now this kind of behavior. But on this note where they just come out like that without telling anybody, it's a slap on us. Like, it's not a good one. They supposed to tell us, even if saying go there for treatment, and it's no good at all. It's no good. It's more like, you know, a power vehicle. What if say we can't get cases of emergency or something can't they happen for Nigeria? And no be say no need Tinubu come out. Even if vice self will come out. All these things will cause political instability. If it cause security concerns in the country, they just come out like that, leave the seat vacant. So something should be done about it. It's not good at all.
Yes, things are going to be done about it. And as you see, we are not expecting anything from Tinubu. To be precise, he has promised nothing, he's delivering nothing. But the only thing that, that comes to mind is that Tinubu, is said to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You understand me? That is the part we are actually talking about. He has promised nothing, we expect nothing from him, but that Constitution, he continuously violates the Constitution, which he has said he's going to uphold. So those are the concerns that are there. Then coming back to you, Divine. Okay, now that it is like this and people are seriously talking about, I think there is even something that Arise Rufai also posted that has to deal with this same talk of all people. Not getting to their discussion in the studio, but I think he tweeted something. But before we get to that very tweet that he did, why is it that the people who should be talking right now about these constitutional violations are not talking about it? You know, we expect people who call the elderly statesmen, the people who has written this constitution, the people who are like, the people who advocate for Nigerians. You know, why can't they come out right now and start talking about this thing, that this very rascality, because we need to call this a rascality. If you ask a PO, you say it's criminality. But this very one that Tinubu is doing is rascality. Just doing anything he likes and nobody will talk. Why is it like that?
Well, particularly, I think people are trying to talk, not really because they particularly support him. I think the issue with this whole travel thing and why it looks like people are not saying anything is because it just happened, right? Like, these speculations just started. And so if he stays longer than, expected, I think that's when people will come and start particularly saying things about where's our president. But let me even on a lighter note say that I don't particularly think Tinubu being around has been of any use to the Nigerian common person, because even while he was around, he was not doing anything to actually, make the lives of the average Nigerian better. So we can just say it is as well as, really inconsequential to the to the random Nigerian if it's around or not, right? But the point is just that I am more bothered about state resources, because the fact is that he most likely traveled with taxpayers' money. The fraud that was used to carry the jet and all of that is taxpayers' money. So I just care about accountability on that part of it, to be very honest. And I think the reason why they're not being very vocal about the reason why he's traveling or why he's not being available is because they don't want to raise panic in the hearts of people as far to his health. Because I mean, when he was contesting, they were saying things like, oh, this man is too old and frail to hold office, but they insisted that this man is really strong. So I understand why it is really important for them to hide his medical conditions if the reason why he traveled is because of his health. So I think they are really just hiding it, and the people that are meant to talk are not talking, because most of them are on the receiving end. Like, they are people who are gaining from all of this at the end of the day.
Okay, before we go into all this and also discuss the issues that has to deal with this, let's have what Rufai Hussaini also had to say about Tinubu's first May Day. He said is very symbolic, as May 29 is where he is asking those questions. Let's take a listen to what they had to say at the mainstream media, especially Arise. Let's take a listen.
It's a very apt question, and we shouldn't be rigmaroling, you know, because everybody blamed Buhari when they would go on his trips and all of that. So where is President Tinubu? He went to Saudi Arabia. Isn't it enough that they gave us fake, false announcement as regards a Maersk deal from Saudi Arabia that they have all debunked and cleaned off their social media now? And now the vice president too is out, so two of them are out at the same time. So who did they leave the home front for? The villa is empty. And that's why we need to be able to ask this question. President Tinubu was not around for his first May Day. He keeps talking about the rights of workers. Who would have thought that his first May Day should be as symbolic as May 29? So he's probably going to come on May 29 and say, fellow Nigerians, right? But where was he on May Day? And President Shettima has to go represent the president now. So why are we doing this to ourselves? So we should ask the question. Until today, I'm sure the presidency will not react. Maybe he will stay for about a week or two, or maybe he'll come back this week. Whoever knows.
Well, I spoke with our state house correspondent.
Because they always do the 21-day clause. Right. And that's why they can get away with this thing they get away with.
Yeah.
So these are the reactions of Nigerians, both in the social and mainstream media. Everybody talking about why should Aso Rock be vacant. But as Divine has said, Nigerians actually don't get much even while he's around. But at the same time, talking about constitutional provision, the right things should be done. Whether we like it or not, there are implications when these two people are out of their way. And the expenses, like Divine also voiced out, is not just the fueling, but also those medical expenses and all of that, because this is not a private business, it's not on leave. But again, let's take a dive at some of the things that has been bringing controversy that probably hide his blood pressure for him to leave. This Lagos coastal, what do they call it?
Superhighway.
Superhighway, as His Excellency P2B calls it. You know that despite numerous complaints and objections, this very Tinubu administration has refused to listen and review the 700-kilometer Lagos-Calabar coastal highway, but instead is rushing headlong into the project. The 13 billion Lagos project is not only environmentally and economically destructive, but irrationally replaces the 1,400 kilometer, 12 billion Lagos Calabar rail project along the East-West Road, adjudged to be the single most important economic empowering infrastructural development project in southern Nigeria in over 100 years. Commissioned by both the Jonathan 2014 administration and Buhari in 2021 governments. Those happened. And then, this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project is illegal. That is what we see. And that is what everybody has been canvassing. But Tinubu has kept deaf ears. for not only breaching competitive tendering stipulations, but for also contravening the Environmental Impact Assessment Act, as stipulated in the decree number 86 of 1992, which places the project type in category 1 and affecting the natural environment, making an asset report mandatory before commencement. The 2021 environmental assessment procedure and charges would have taken 6 months from May 29, when Tinubu came to power, to secure a genuine approval report involving series of stakeholders meetings, multiple visits and studies of the environment to be impacted by the highway, especially since the 700-kilometer coastal highway will affect the natural fauna, the coastal mangrove swamps that serve as natural barriers against tidal waves. With the contract awarded in September of 2023, an environmental and social impact assessment and a separate RAP, that is settlement action plan, was obviously not done as stipulated by law. To know the effects on existing businesses and the breaches on the area. Also, the 1.5 kilometer change in the previous plan by 1.5 kilometer required a new assessment before going ahead. Why does the Federal Coastal Highway have to come far into town to start from this Chogri, this business partner of Tinubu's place private this thing, to stop at the state Lekki Express Highway? Not only in a semi-client, but even Oyo State is building a circular road for travelers to link other routes without coming into Ibadan. Why would they have to take it to this man's domot? A fundamental question for the political leadership and the intelligentsia is why continue to build highways that can't last due to the weight of trailers. In other climates like US, Europe, railways were built before roads. In a developing nation like ours, a lot of cement and steel is transported, and without railways, their weight will destroy the roads, no matter how concrete they are built. Rail cars carry at least 13 times the load weight of trucks. Now, so much talk can go on and on and on. The East-West Road is on solid ground closest to the coast. So what is the benefit of building a new highway in swamps? The benefit of building a new one in swamps being more expensive and environmentally destructive. Moreover, this 13 billion coastal highway doesn't include the cost of the railway along East Divide. What informed the choice of 13 billion on 700-kilometer coastal highway over a 12 billion 1,400-kilometer railway that will stimulate the local economy of over 20 towns? Unlike sparsely populated marshes, the East-West Road Railway will make it easier to build feeder railways to Ife, Ilesha, Ondo, Akure, Ado-Ekiti, Owo, every corner of Ogun, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti states, where even he come from. That is where his kinsmen are. Instead of fetching the railway from the ocean, is it a case of financing whereby roads could be built by local contractors versus railways that might need foreign paid contractors? Question. Well, the Chinese were to finance the build the Lagos-Calabar railway along the East-West Road, but APC government cancelled the agreement and rewarded it to GE USA before hawking it to Russia and then other places. Well, that is, I think, as much as we can say about this coastal earlier in the day you also talked about it, because some people come out in different platforms talking about the benefits and the benefits of this very highway, but they are not asking the fundamental questions. Who are behind this? Why are competitive measures not put in place? Why will somebody just come and impose a super highway on Nigerians without going through due process?
Well, I think for me, the emphasis is really on due process, to be honest, because like for contracts this huge, you're meant to go through a competitive bidding process. And so it already points to us that there's foul play in the fact that they did not bid for this contract. No construction company or competitive bidding was raised, right? Because usually they use those competitive biddings to get like fair deal for the government, because during that process of bidding you get people who can do it for cheaper, or like just be able to just bargain with these contractors and get a fair deal, because the point should be to utilize you know, taxpayers' money and actually get the best deal for Nigerians. But they did not follow this due process, and it's costing Nigerians, because now the road is going to cost more than it should have costed in the first place. And even the fact that originally it was going to be built, you know, without direct money from the federal government, and you know, they just changed their mind last minute. It's just particularly sad. Well, even Oseni Rufai of Arise TV actually penned down some very salient questions that he wanted to ask concerning this you know, Lagos Calabar superhighway project, and he took to his X accounts to actually highlight these things based singularly, to actually ask these questions. There were over 8 of them. Producer, please, can we get them on the screen? So one of them said, why was the coastal road moved from its original alignment along the Water Corporation Road to the beachfront, where there are about 57 active businesses, thousands of jobs, and $1 million worth of infrastructure? The original route remains unused and underdeveloped till date. The second question he raised was, why were properties not previously marked for demolition and outside the right of way demolished? This is to people, because last minute they said demolition projects that originally had nothing to do with this Lagos Calabar superhighway. The third question he raised was, after the federal government refused to realign the route despite landmarks pleas to save the infrastructure, businesses and jobs on the landmark beach, why was the route later reassigned or realigned to save infrastructure along the right of way after demolition at landmark had already taken place? Then he raised another question about due process, and this had sub questions. The A part of it said, why was a contract of such magnitude awarded to a single contractor without competitive bidding process as confirmed by the Federal Ministry of Work? And then the B part of this due process question he raised was that, why was a contract with such significant environmental and social impact commenced without the environmental and social impact assessments law as required? Right? And then he moved on. The fourth question was, High Tech, the construction company that was awarded the contracts for the road, is owned by the Chagri Group, who also owns Eco Atlantic, the business that is sand-filling the owner of the owner of the Chagri Group, Gilbert Chagri, who is also a known personal friend of Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Did this personal relationship play a role in awarding the contract to High Tech without a competitive bidding process?
Those are the questions that need answers. And do you think that these questions are why Chief Bola Tinubu is running away from this country?
Well, I mean, it makes sense, but he shouldn't run, because this is actually what he created. So if he was afraid of the heat, he probably shouldn't have started it in the first place. But I guess that's just, you know, what it is with them. Okay,
I think with that, we'll say we'll keep getting the reports of whether Chief Bola Tinubu is wherever he is. Nigerians are looking for him. If he's watching the Obidient Family TV, we are simply asking a question: is he missing? Has he run away from Nigeria, or the burden of Nigeria has gotten too much for him? Please let him tell Nigerians. Nigeria needs to know. So, and also we need from the presidency for them to come out and tell us what and steps they are taking to locate where Chief Bola Tinubu is. Well, all of that will keep our obedience and well-meaning Nigeria informed by tomorrow as we get the reports coming in. Moreover, let's take a dive at what His Excellency P2B and the other obedience as it's happening in the UK today. You know, whenever we want to bring about this, we see smiles in the faces of the obedience, especially me. So I am delighted to hear that the obedience in the UK are all meeting to have discussion. Yes, they call it a thank you tour of this very event happening. I will be bringing you all the detail and live interactions and conversations that did take place, and how people were able to address some of the questions that arise out of the last election of 2023. So those things we are going to bring to you shortly, or as the reports comes in. So, but for now, our time don't they give us signal, and the signal is giving us is let's even take a dive into the cooperative society that is happening across Nigeria. It's a wonderful news, and it's a great thing happening. If you have not heard about it, please just listen carefully so that you understand. The obedience everywhere in Nigeria, in their local governments, are getting an entity, a name that is being registered with the state government, which is the Obidient Family Cooperative Society. This is the welfare arm of the Obidient movement, and is happening across the federation. If you don't know how to join, or you have not joined an Obidient Family Cooperative Society in your local government where you reside, please do ask questions. Go into our comment section, see the link of the WhatsApp community, join the WhatsApp community, and get ask the questions of where you need to join. Which local government are you in? They are all there. Ask the question, and you'll be moved to that very section, and you're going to join the Obedience, reconnecting with the Obedience in your local government to do what? To have the welfare of all obedience in one place. That is what we're actually looking up to. So please, if you are watching us right now, do share this video and make sure that it gets across to every obedient. That is the job you can do for us. And for people who wish to support the registration of these cooperative societies, we have a cooperative that is already registered right now, where we are the Obidient family that is, pushing for these things to happen. We have an account, a bank account, where wherever you are, you could support the registrations going on. The registration amounts differs from state to state. You have Enugu that is going above 50,000. We have Anambra that is close on 50,000. We have Delta State that is doing about 25. We have Akwa Ibom that is doing about 30. And so many, Kanu of less amount. And Kaduna, we have done at least, by the last meeting we had yesterday, we had at least 10 states that has been dealt with, not conclusively on the local governments, but a majority of those local governments has structures that needs to be registered with the state governments, and there is no finance, or currently we are dealing it gradually, because what we do is assist the obedience in their local governments to get them registered. First thing first, the foundation, the grassroots foundation needs registration on each of these states. So wherever you are, there's an account information, or which is the Obidient Family Cooperative Society account, that you can put a token to support the registration of all Obidient Cooperative Society in the local governments. What we do is, when we have that, we will now move it to the structure that are set up in the local government, so that they could get registered with their state government. So please, no amount is too small. Do your contribution so that we could quickly wrap up the registration process and go to the welfare aspect of helping obedience in their local government. We might not be able to achieve the welfare if it is not properly registered in their local government, and that's why we are asking for this support to get the registrations with their local government, so that they can all open a bank account and do the needful. Wherever you are, whatever support you have, there is within the description of the Obidient Family TV, there is a cooperative account information there. Whatever thing that you feel that you can be able to support the registrations with, please do throw in there. It will help us as we move towards a new Nigeria that we know is possible. Without a credible, sound foundation, we may not be able to achieve our goal of a new Nigeria that we believe is possible. Until we meet again tomorrow, bye for now.